What's
Hello,
up?
what's up, dude?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you perfect, dude. You hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I can. This is
Perfect.
rad. This is this is super cool.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm really pumped to chat and just get to know you more. I pinned a link to a nonprofit that I'm currently running for. They're
Okay.
called To Right Love in Our Arms. I'm doing the 2026 New York City Marathon on their team to raise funds for their organization. And basically, what they do is they help people get connected with mental health resources. And also, they work to give people tools for suicide prevention. So I've been plugging that on social media. I figured I would just leave it at the bottom while we're chatting, and that will be
I
that.
think that I think that's awesome. I mean, without going into everything that did it, I've been in some situations like that, and honestly the if I made it through to the other side, honestly, I feel like anybody can, honestly, because it could happen to fucking anybody. And no matter how tough you think you are or who you are, it could happen to anybody. So I think that's awesome that you're plugging that right now, man. I really respect
Thanks,
that.
dude. Yeah, no, I agree. It's always good to look at the other side of things and like what you came out of and be like, man, like if I can get through that, anyone else can. Because I think that's ultimately what a lot of people, myself included, are inspired by just seeing others get through difficult things. And when we see others get through difficult things, then you're like, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for
so,
sure.
yeah, I think that's a really good reminder what you said.
Dude, it's one of those things. I remember somebody told me at a very dark time in my life. I've had a number of times that were real bad. Didn't grow up super easy. I'm thankful to my mom because she raised me by herself, and she's the reason I'm alive, and for many reasons. But at a very particular time in my life where I was going through something real bad, I remember somebody told me not to do a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And that really stuck with me because I remember being in college. I lost three friends to suicide while in college,
Mm,
and I mean, he was 18 years old. I think it was something to do with a breakup. And I mean, that shit hurts. Nothing hurts like a breakup, dude. I mean, it hurts
mm,
bad, but I was thinking about like he was 18, dude. Like by now he would have been my age. He'd be 27,
mm,
and it wouldn't have. He'd be okay. And
mm.
it's so sad to see that happen. And that hits close to home to me, man. I really respect that. That's cool. That's real cool.
Thanks, man, and thanks for sharing. It's definitely not. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like you can glaze. It's easy to glaze over people's stories when you hear experiences like that, and I think that even when time passes, like even when it gets easier to talk about those things,
Yeah.
like there should still almost be like some form of like reverence towards the heaviness of it.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I appreciate you sharing that.
I mean, honestly, man, I'm 99% an open book. I'll talk about just about anything. I don't hide anything from anybody because, like, I'm a very just transparent person. I kind of don't have any shame about anything, so I'll talk about just about anything, dude. So I mean, I'll talk about
Yeah, and
anything.
I think that's a good segue into just talking about your story. I would love if you could just give an introduction of who you are, what the heck you were doing at that 7-Eleven yesterday, and just from your perspective, what happened. And for those that don't know, we made a video and it went pretty viral. It's almost up to 700,000 views of me just bumping into
Yeah,
Christian on the street. Like it wasn't unplanned. My gas tank was on empty. I stopped for gas, and from like 100 feet away, I saw just this giant tattooed man. And I was like, there was a part of me that was like, I probably shouldn't go and bug this strange looking character. Then the other part of me was like, you have to talk with that guy. Fucking do
yeah,
it. So I did it. So yeah, tell us what the heck you were doing. For those that have no idea, and we'll go from there.
dude. I was halfway through getting my tattoo of Mother Mary on my ribs, and I walked out of the shop. I told Roadkill, her name's Roadkill Roxanne. To anybody in Orlando, get tattooed by Roadkill Roxanne. But I was getting tattooed. I stopped halfway through, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna take a walk. I'm just gonna go grab a beer from the corner store." So I walk outside, and as soon as I open the door to the thing, now I'm bleeding. I'm half drunk because I don't like getting tattooed sober, but because I'm like, this is a good excuse to drink. So I'm gonna buy beer. I walk into the store and the lady behind the counter is like, "Yo, you can't come in here like this. You're bleeding everywhere. You got no shirt on. You got to go outside." And I was like, "All right, sure, fine, whatever." So I'm waiting outside and I see you coming up to me. At first, I don't know what's up. I'm from New York, so somebody walking up on me. At first, I'm like, "Okay, what's going on here?" And then I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, he's got a camera, cool." And you were just super chill. You were like, "Hey, can I take some pictures?" And I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time. Like honestly, like my like introvert friends that hang out with me, like I kind of like drag them along, and I talk to everybody. I talk to everybody all the time. I like talking to people. I love small talk, and they're just like sometimes they're like, "Dude, you got to just stop talking to everybody." I'm like, "No, man, everybody like." I don't know. I like making friends and just making connections to people.
Heck
It's
yeah.
real funny. Like, dude, there's so many of my friends. Like, man, and the thing is, like, it's funny because I'm cognizant of it that, like, hanging out with me. I feel like some people's battery gets charged up, and then some people they have like a battery life of like this much, and then like after an hour or so, I see my energy just like making them exhausted because I'm
Yeah.
just so much to keep up with. I see them powering down. I'm like, all right, I gotta like chill out. Like, yeah, for sure.
That's super funny. And I would say, generally speaking, don't drink while getting a tattoo. We're not
Yeah, you're not
encouraging
supposed to.
that. Um,
You're not. I do everything, dude. I do everything ass backwards. Drinking
yeah,
is
no,
actually
it's the
like,
same with me with like running, where it's like I will like go out and drink a bunch of beer the evening before, and then
sure.
literally like run 20 miles the next day, and it's like
Yeah,
you should not do that. Like,
dude.
so
I've been part of the tattoo world from like 13, and I started getting tattooed at 18. I got a lot of my tattoos like when I was 18, 19, and I've been part of it for so long that like there's a joke that artists will tell you how to take care of the tattoo. And after like 5 years of being like very heavily tattooed, I wash it like once a day. I don't cover it up. Nothing. I almost died because I covered up a tattoo one time. That's actually a crazy story. I literally almost died because I covered a tattoo one time. But I just do everything kind of ass backwards and just kind of figure it out as I go. You're like, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of
I
dumb.
can definitely relate with that, and I think it's honestly the same with so many different things. Like I think about running, I think about photography, like people that have started businesses. It's like you can have 100 people tell you one way of doing things, and some things are definitively true. Don't get me wrong,
Oh yeah,
but like you
yeah.
can have like 10 people all tell you one thing, and then you do something completely different, and it still works out and ends up like
Oh yeah.
in a good spot. And it's just like, man, there's just so many ways to just be a human and be alive in the world. Like it really blows my mind.
Dude, there's no I mean, there is objective truth, and that's something I always talk about because I remember studying philosophy for a long time, and when I was younger, I was like, "There's no objective truth to anything." And then as I got older, I started realizing that there's actually a lot of truths, and we have to. And I try to get as close to that as possible, but at the end of the day, even if there is a truth or a right way of doing it, as people being flawed, we're only going to get so close to the right thing to do. And 99% of the time, you're probably going to fuck up. And that's just part of the human experience. It's kind of like figuring it out as you go. And I think that's what kind of makes living kind of cool because there's no instruction manual. It's like figure it out. You know what I mean? I think that makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah, that reminds me kind of, and we mentioned that we were going to chat about this before, but it's kind of a good segue into the tattoo that everyone kept commenting on of you being like, oh, like I'm a Christian, like Jesus is
Yeah.
my number one, and then all these people were like, dude, you have the devil tattooed on you. And I think, like you said, you're like, man, I was like 18, and even if that wasn't like the intention originally, there's still
Yeah.
like some serious duality there, and like there's all these things that just don't make sense, and like you have to like literally try things to end up in the place that you're going to end up at. And so I would like to talk a bit about that because so many people, outside of people saying they wanted to bang you,
Yeah.
commented is that like I want to fuck this guy, and
Yeah.
then people being like, you called yourself a Christian. Why do you
Dude,
have this demonic tattoo? So dive
all right.
into it.
So
Tell us more.
I have Jesus tattooed on my head recently. But here's the actual lowdown. I was raised Catholic, and my uncle committed suicide. So
Mm,
that rocked my world, and I had a the only good spot of my life growing up was my mom and my cousin, and that's all I had. So the house I was in was kind of chaotic, and there was a lot of terrible things that happened, and I saw, and I became very disillusioned with everything. And I got into black metal and like metal music, and for a while I didn't really believe in anything. And I love horror movies. I love scary stuff. So I kind of got into really dark shit, and and what I realized is when you surround yourself with darkness, you become that darkness. And I became a really not a great guy. Like I was, like, I didn't really know how to assert myself as a man, so I thought violence towards other men was the way that I can
mm,
assert myself. So I just got into a really bad spot, and as my life got harder and good people came into my life, great influences came, and I realized that at my lowest, I Jesus was still there and he still loved me. And I'm not here to fucking preach to anybody, but I got the Black Phillip tattoo, which is from a movie called The Witch, and that's not the only like devilly tattoo I have. I have this Burt Crack design, which was my first tattoo. I picked it off the wall, and I have like a devil holding a girl on my arm. But what I do like about tattooing is that the devil is a symbol more than even a real thing. He only has as much power as you give him, and Satan is the accuser. Whether you believe in the literal story of God or not, Satan's job is to accuse you and basically make you feel less than and unworthy of redemption. And that's true
mm,
whether you're a Christian, a Jewish, Muslim, a non-believer. There are people that will accuse you and make you feel unworthy of love. And that
mm,
is the story of my whole life, is feeling like I was not lovable or unworthy of kindness towards other people.
mm,
And that's where I became real ugly. And so I got this tattoo, and now it's taken on a new meaning. The devil, to me, in tattooing, is a symbol of temptation, darkness that's always there. So now the reason I don't cover it up is that that evil in me is real. You have to acknowledge the darkness of you, the things that I've been through. It's a journey that I went on, and I'm still fucking here regardless. I fucked up, and I know that I regret nothing, but I'm sorry for a lot because every mistake I've made led me here, and I'm actually pretty okay. So the devil is something where if you look him in the eye and you own your sins, whether you're a believer or not, if you look him in the eye and you say, yeah, I fucked up, but that doesn't define me. I'm not defined by evil. I'm not defined by my weakness. I acknowledge the devil 100%, but he has zero power over me. And that tattoo, honestly, at the end of the day, it's a big, badass motherfucking tattoo. And now the way I look at it, dude, it's an acknowledgement of my darkness, and also like
mm.
goats are fucking hard headed and they do their own thing. I'm fucking hard headed. I do my own thing, but I've said it in the comments and I mean it. I feel like I'm God's favorite goat. Like he's always like, dude, would you just cut the shit? Like cut it the fuck out and get over here. Like stop ramming shit. Calm down. I feel like God's always like trying to get me to chill out, but I'm just
Mm,
being myself and trying my best, man.
mm.
That's the story. But that's why I have it.
Yeah, I like, I don't know, as I was listening to you, like I felt myself like getting like slightly like emotional or teary-eyed because I think that while I don't necessarily have the same beliefs per se, it is interesting to even talk about like the idea of redemption and how like it almost is a literal living representation of the idea that like change is possible. And as you're telling me that, I'm just like thinking about how people literally are trying to cause others shame while like pointing out that you have those tattoos. And
Look,
it's
man,
like that's almost like again the point of like the tattoo and the thing that you were explaining to just say like yeah, that's there, but like I've been like redeemed and like made
yeah.
new, and I don't know. I think that's like a really cool reminder and perspective, even in like comments like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just that's really really beautiful and profound to me. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Hey man, look, I mean, at the end of the day, it took me a really long time to be comfortable in my own skin. You know, I grew up rough. Shame and what is it? Those, I think it's Ibsen. Shame and guilt is like one of the developmental stages. I've had
Mm,
a lot of just like, I guess, like just issues with feeling worthy, I guess, or like liking myself. And at this point in my life, man, like what people like, most of the comments, honestly, people always focus on negative stuff. Most of the comments are like beautiful people that are happy and love the content. So I want to shout those people out first before I even talk about negative.
mm.
But dude, like honestly, I never use the word hater because bro, like people are gonna have opinions when you're in the public eye. Look, I don't agree with. Well, again, like the comments about the boots are mad funny. Like honestly, I like the comments about the boots. But but like I
I
love
love
the
the one that
comments
was like,
about
"Are
the
you
boots.
wearing your dad's boots?"
Yeah, dude. The comments crazy funny. But like people like judging people's beliefs about religion or trying to make me feel like I'm not
Mm,
worthy of God's love because of a fucking tattoo. Is I'm like, look, they're entitled to their opinion, but at the end of the day,
mm,
Jesus came for the sinners. And again, I like, even if you don't believe in that, the story of God who came man and came for the people that he didn't come for the people that were already like cool. He came for people that were fucked up.
mm,
And that's fucking me, dude. Like I'm not fucking perfect. So you know, and kind of grandstanding and being like, well, I'm gonna say that I'm better than him or I'm more worthy than him.
mm,
That's exactly the kind of thing that Jesus like flipped out about, and he threw away like people like the Pharisees that were always going on about, well, I belong in here, and there was a tax collector, which Jesus is not like tax collectors. He was like, I don't belong going into this church because my job is I'm a tax collector. I'm not a good guy.
mm,
He told that guy that he was more worthy than the Pharisees, who was bragging about how great he was. Like
mm,
I don't know. Some people I think have to put others down to make themselves feel good, and that must be a really really shit way to live your life. Like for me, like I don't want to put anybody down. I want everybody to do good. If I'm doing good, I want everybody to fucking do good. And if I'm not
mm,
doing good, I hope that other people are doing better than me. You know, I don't want to drag anybody else down and make anyone suffer. Like
mm.
I'm a nurse, dude. Like I do hospice. Like I my job is to take care of people. So I don't really get off on putting anybody down. Like somebody else's failure or somebody else's pain doesn't make me better. Or if like even if you're talking about like physiques or tattoos, like if somebody is more ripped than me, that doesn't make my physique any worse or better. It's just like somebody else
Mm.
doing good. So it doesn't people who put other people down, I feel like it's a sad thing to they have to make themselves feel good by trying to hurt someone else. And I'm just happy that I don't have to do that. Like I'm just happy that I can be cool and comfortable with myself. So I don't take it personally.
Yeah, and I don't even bring it up to be like, oh, like look at the haters. It's more so it's just like it's in it's just a amplification of what you explained about your tattoos, like in a good light, just like pointing out that like, hey, I'm trying to like, be renewed and like live differently, and
Yeah.
people are literally like, no, you're not, and you're like, the point is to remind me like people are going to literally be like, no, you're not, like you're bad, but like I can know the truth that like I'm a good human and like I'm loved, and
Yeah.
I don't know,
Look at
I think that's the only reason I even bring that up because it really I don't know I think the thing that I realized going out and talking with strangers every day like I I guess it's 113 days now 114 days now of just like walking out and talking with random people on the street and asking if I could take their photo, and I say that because more than anything I just discovered that people are really kind. Like
oh yeah.
occasionally there's people that like aren't happy. But like most of the time, like people are really glad that I'm taking the time to just like sit with them. And that goes even beyond our interactions. That's like on a larger level. Like it goes beyond anything that I'm doing. Like it just shows me that like I really believe people in the world like are good as much as there's atrocity and death and like a million other things. Like I don't entirely know how to explain it. And I think like even the comments are like such a good reflection of that. Like it's not to ignore like suffering or pain or anything because that's very real. But like I really think like generally speaking, like people want others to do well. And I see that in that, like, in this over and
Yeah,
over where people are just like, this guy's the fucking man. Even
dude,
sometimes with making jokes, like even making jokes about your boots or whatever. It's like,
dude,
it's still some of it is like cheering you on, even if they're poking fun at you.
dude, you know what? You got to be able to laugh at yourself and like not take things too seriously. Like sometimes things are just funny, so you can't get mad about everything. But like overall, man, like every person, regardless of who you are or what you are going through or where you're from, we have one thing in common. We are once you're born, there's one way out of here, and that's to die. So in that way, we're all united. Like that's the one thing that every person has in common is that we're going. This ride is going to end eventually, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I think that there's a lot of people, and everybody is. Everybody has fear, and I think that sometimes I think when people get really afraid of whatever they're feeling, it they allow it to control them, and that's what makes people do weird stuff. You know what I mean? But in my experience, I think that when you have good vibes, and I mean that literally, by the way, vibes. Like, everything runs on vibration. Now, I know this sounds kind of schizo, but everything is like a vibration. I genuinely believe that when you're in a good headspace, when you're being positive, when you're being good to people, you're vibrating at a higher frequency. And that draws people in. It's a good energy compared to negativity, sadness, depression, anger. That's all low vibrational stuff. And when you're vibrating low, you're attracting more negativity in. So it's real easy to be negative because there's a lot of horrible things in the world. There's a lot of terrible things going on right now, sometimes in our own backyard. But man, despite that, like if you could fucking acknowledge that there are scary things and there's bad things in the world, but I'm gonna fucking dance anyway, dude. Like like the rebellious goat in me is going to fucking dance anyway because I'm not gonna let anybody's bullshit or any of the sadness of the world make me reflect that ugliness. It's like you become a mirror. You know what I mean? You could reflect the beauty or you could reflect the horror. And some people, I think they stare, you stare into the abyss long enough, it stares back at you. If you keep staring into that abyss, eventually you're going to become that very abyss. But when you focus on, man, life is really good sometimes. I think you start to reflect that and you become a mirror of the beauty that the world has to offer. Like
Amen.
dead ass. Like be fucking
Yeah.
in a roundabout way. And like I don't want to be fucking Cam's counselor here, but like be fucking positive, dude. Like fucking like life sucks sometimes, but it's all right. It's all good. There's cool stuff to do.
Hell yeah. I feel like I just started like listening and I was just like, damn, like I'm enjoying what this guy is saying and I almost like forgot where I was for a second, which doesn't happen a lot where you're just kind of going with the flow. And I guess I say that because I really appreciate that reminder and I think it's helpful for both myself and anyone else to hear. It's like you become the things that you surround yourself with and the thoughts that you think. And I don't know, like we're way more powerful than we realize. Like you and I, like both, like everyone included, like we're way more capable and powerful of things than like we give ourselves credit for.
Well, think about it, man. I mean, words are like spells. Like everything around you,
Mm.
like words and thoughts are prayers or rituals or spells.
Yeah.
It's when you're making a friend or if you like, for example, if you make me smile, right? Back in the day, if you're talking about witchcraft, right? You cast a spell to make somebody sad, right? And you put stuff in a pot, you say some words, whatever, you make that happen. But if you go up to somebody and you make them sad or make them angry, it's in a weird way you kind of put a spell on them. So your words have power and your intentions have power. So it's people like I think of it like a conduit. Like energy flows through and around people. So I mean if your energy is off, you're gonna start giving off negative energy and you're going to become your thoughts. You become what you think and what you do becomes what you think and you think what you do. You know what? Does that make sense? Like
Totally.
I
It makes complete sense. And I guess it makes me wonder like I mean you've talked like on your page you do a lot of like physical activity and I even saw you like commenting on someone's comment about like getting fit through diet and like
yeah.
eating good things and I'm wondering what are some of the like more regular rituals, like you said, that you have in your life? I mean, it's like it's clear, like you do like party and have a good time. Like it's like you go
Yeah.
out and get tattooed, like you're drinking beers. Like I do that too, but it's like at the same time, like what are the things that help keep you grounded? And you said some of those, but like I'd love to hear a little bit more.
So it's look. I'm gonna be 100 honest. I'm a crazy son of a bitch. I need something to focus on, or I will spiral out of control. And I don't do anything halfway. If I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna be the best drinker in the whole world. If I'm gonna work out, I want to be the best workout guy in the whole world. So right now, I'm actually cutting back on drinking because I go hard at it when I go at it. So I'm gonna cut back a little bit. But I mean, for me, being focused on physical things, it comes natural to me. I was kind of heavy set growing up, and I remember just wanting to get in shape, get just being like I could look good too, and doing MMA and wrestling. I was kind of always the chunky guy, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a six pack. I'm gonna deadlift 500 pounds, and I just started just I mean, it sounds real corny, but like chicken and rice and shit, fucking doing cardio. And when I'd go to the gym, I kind of imagined this is an old guy, Sister Nino tip. He's a bodybuilder from Jersey, awesome guy. Um, you imagine kind of like a wet towel, and every time you wring it out, you could always get a little bit more water out of it. So when I would go to the gym or work out or even at jujitsu, I'm like, all right, the towel's pretty dry, but I bet if I squeeze that a little more, I could get even more water. And I'd push myself until like on leg day, I would throw up every leg day. It would just be what I did because I'd push myself to that point of exhaustion. And afterwards, I'd be like, I feel a lot better about everything. Working out is good for your brain and it's good for your body. So I love working out, whether it's MMA or jujitsu or just pumping iron like the meathead I am. I fucking love to do it. I just love to fucking be physical. I don't know, man. I think that a lot of young men specifically get into trouble because they're not doing physical shit. Because young guys got that testosterone brimming through them all the time, and if you don't get that out, man, it's gonna manifest in weird ways. And again, I can't speak for women. It's important for everybody to work out. It's equally important for women to work out. I'm not saying that, but I could only speak. I don't want to ever speak for women. I'm going to just speak for what I've witnessed and experienced. Man, the only men who are abusive and negative towards people or like bullies are people who are pretty ineffective. But weak men are the ones who cause misery. Like it's that like it's if you know what you're capable of, you're a big strong guy or you're just healthy and physical, you feel no reason to just bully people because you're fucking feeling
Yeah,
good about yourself. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, for
Living
sure.
in South Carolina, I've heard horror stories about abusive guys
Mm,
and just talking to women, and it's always just like you look at the guy and he's just like this fucking guy, and he's like a total pussy. And I'm like, that's probably why he's taking it out on you because he can't fucking assert himself any other way. So I think it's real important. But point is, long caveat, working out is good for you. Try get to the say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Okay,
hell
say your
yeah.
prayers and eat your vitamins. Fucking like the Hulkster said, like the fucking Hulkster said.
I
Yeah,
love
but
it.
yeah,
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
I appreciate that. You heard it here first, guys. You heard
Yeah.
it here first.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, that's a crowbar order.
That's a crowbar order from the man himself.
The man himself.
I love that. So I think that also reminds me of one other thing I wanted to talk about, and ask you about. Um, I don't know if it's okay to say what type of like healthcare you focus on. I know it says you're a nurse in your
Hospice.
profile, but
I do
okay,
hospice.
cool. Yeah. So you texted me earlier and said you did hospice. I
Yeah.
didn't want to like put your info on blast if that wasn't okay, but if you didn't feel like sharing something. But so yeah, that being said, like that's another thing that I feel like takes, if done correctly, there's a lot of shitty nurses. I was talking to my girlfriend
Oh yeah.
about this yesterday. But I think like if you are a good one and really care about people it takes a lot of discipline, especially in something as delicate and fragile as hospice. And I
Yeah.
also can't help but think that there might be some overlap between like the way that you focus on disciplining yourself for like workout things in the same manner that you would focus on like being disciplined with like having kind interactions and like having empathy and having to take care of people. And so I would love to hear a little bit more about your experience like working in hospice and what you do and what that has been like essentially over time.
Well, my first job as a nurse, I was a CNA while I was in nursing school, and my philosophy then was I'm not going to tell anybody to do something that I'm not willing to do. So
Mm,
I was a CNA first, and then I worked in a nursing home for about 3 to 4 years. That was great. I got a lot of experience working with hospice nurses because they would come in all the time. Did that. I eventually got promoted. I was the head of the wound care department when I was 26, 25. I was the head of the wound care department and I was overseeing it. They didn't really want to pay me anymore. I was getting burnt out. So I went to work for drug and alcohol rehab, which was one of my favorite jobs. Loved talking to those people. And I know from, I guess, experience that people with addiction and mental illness are not treated super well in the hospitals. And that always broke my heart. And I always did my
mm,
part when I would deal with them to treat them like people, and I really feel like I did some good there. I liked it for a while. New management came in, kind of wanted to take away the patient-centered care.
mm,
They didn't like that I would, when I was done with MedPass, I worked at night. If somebody couldn't sleep, I would sit with them for 2 hours because there was nothing to do. It
mm,
was 2 in the morning, and these people were coming off of fentanyl or coming off of alcohol, and they were suffering. So I'd sit with them and talk to them, and
mm,
they didn't want that because they were like, "Oh, well, you're taking the job from the therapist," and I was like, "This isn't why I'm doing this job, dog." So I left that and I started hospice, which is it's really rewarding because you're helping people at the last stage of their life.
mm,
Every good book has a good ending, so death is important, and having a good death is a privilege. It's
mm,
get having, and that's something that I could help these people go into whatever is next with some peace of mind and comfort. And it's a great job. I love doing it. I genuinely love what I do. But man, it gets hard sometimes, man. Like, I mean, there's
mm,
people that you get real close to, and yeah, I mean, and for being a nurse, there's a lot of great nurses, and I've met a lot of nurses who are unbelievable people. Don't be a nurse if you don't care about people. Like,
mm,
don't, like, if the moment that you feel like you don't feel sad when somebody's passing away or when a family member's crying, or when if you get hardened to that, either take a sabbatical or find another profession, because if you don't
mm,
genuinely care about people, these people are trusting you regardless of what kind of nursing you're doing. You
mm,
took an oath. It's like, I think there's nothing worse than an oath breaker. When you take an oath to something, live it and fucking do it to the best of your ability, or fucking get out of the business, dude. Like,
mm,
do it 100% or not at all. Do it 100% or not at all, especially with medicine. Just, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Well, nurses are heroes," but I mean, it's an important fucking job. I mean, and there's nothing worse than a shitty nurse. I fucking dealt with them, dude. Like, I remember when I was 21, all the bars were fucking closed, and I gave myself alcohol poisoning like a dumb shit.
mm,
Drank half a bottle of gin alone, straight, like out the bottle. A couple bottles of wine, beer. I quit drinking after that. And dude, I went to the hospital, and apparently, like, I was crying a lot, but the nurses were like super pissed that they had to deal with me. And I was like, dude, every bar was closed. I turned 21 and it was fucking COVID time, so I couldn't fucking drink. So I just got wasted in my house. Ended up getting alcohol poisoning, and they it was just, man, it was mad funny. But like, if you're gonna do anything, regardless of what you're doing, bro, it reminds me of what you're doing. Like, I think that it's evident in what you do that you give a fuck about doing it. You have a message and you have something that you want to accomplish, and you do that with 100% of yourself. And if
mm,
you didn't, don't fucking bother. Just fucking do whatever you love to do. Do it 100%.
mm.
I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that.
Hell yeah, I like it. That's great, man. I appreciate you sharing. And yeah, I guess my last thing, and I don't know, I'm like thinking, I was going to jump forward, but I'm also just like thinking there's a lot of like profound things that you shared in that. And I don't know, I think that it is really good to be reminded, for myself included, and anyone that's doing anything, whether it's work or relationships,
Yeah.
like don't half-ass things. And that's easier said than done. Like I'm like, even to talk about like the Bible at the beginning of this, like I think it's like Paul where he's like, I'm the biggest sinner of like everyone. Like
Yeah.
while it's like I don't entirely align with like those, like that belief in particular, I can align with like the sentiment of being like, yeah, don't half-ass it, and then like I'm gonna like let dishes sit, or I'm not gonna do something that my girlfriend and I have had 5 conversations about. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, so
Dude,
like I don't know. It's like I'm like kind of the worst of the worst, like we all are in so many ways, but it's like also at the same time, like do your best. Like if you have to try 100 times to like get something correct, or even like do something like halfway correct, even on the 100th time, like do it. And I'm saying that to myself too, because again, it's like easier said than done. So I just appreciate that reminder. I think what I was going to ask you to kind of like wrap things up, because I feel like we have talked about a lot of your story and a lot of things that people were commenting on. Um, but I guess I'm wondering, like, what do you think is next for you? Like, you're going to keep working as a nurse, keep working out, keep getting tattooed, but like, you talked about maybe like tossing around the idea of like making some content, because it's like, oh, apparently like people like me more than I
yeah.
realized. Like,
Man,
I, yeah, I guess just talk to me about that. What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
man, it never really occurred to me because like, um, a lot of influencers are not good people, and I really don't.
Fair.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And like the streaming culture right now of just like a dude playing this, smash the like button. I'm not gonna fucking be fake about who I am,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's kind of cool that like that interview, which is what like out of every single comment, the only one that I was like a little bit itchy at, like not pissed, a little bit. Where people like it seems scripted. I was like, what about this shit seems scripted right now? Like this is clearly off the fucking cuff. I'm like humming and hawing the whole time. I'm like this is clearly not scripted. So that was the only
All the
thing I'm like,
comments
bro,
of
what
the
the I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like it was mad funny, but like I was like, man, just being off the cuff like that, like not even thinking about, hey, I'm about to sit down and do something. People just kind of fucked with whatever I was just doing, just being in my natural habitat. So I was like, dude, like if people fucking like it, I'll shoot a video. Like I go to Savannah like once a week. I like every day something weird happens. Dude, one time I was at a bar. I got into 2 street fights in the same night, and I finished it the same way. The first one was a guillotine choke because I drove a guy around the corner. He gave me $200 to drive him around the corner, and he was fucking shit faced drunk, and he used to wrestle, and he was like, "I could take you down." And eventually I carry him outside and he's hanging onto the door like a cartoon. He's like hanging onto the door. And he tried to wrestle with me. Like he tried to fight with me and I just like choked him out and I laid him down. And then later that night at another bar, a guy tried to punch a 45-year-old woman. So I choked him out and I called my mom on the way home. It's 3 in the morning. And I'm like, Ma, I choked 2 people out. She was like, what are you talking about, dude? And I was like, and she was like, this could only fucking happen to you. Would you come the fuck home? What are you doing? So I went home. But like weird shit happens to me sometimes. Like just random bullshit just seems to happen to me. I'm like, dude, if I had a fucking camera going, that would be gold. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck, that would be funny.
storytelling.
Yeah,
It's
man. This is
really
what,
like it's storytelling. That's it. Like just using your life to share stories and talk about things. And I think in a lot of ways it's easier said. Like it's difficult, but it's also like it's easier said than done, in the sense that, um, or I should say, let me rewind that. Like a lot of things, there's all these layers, but with this current day and age, like it's easy to put yourself out there. Like you literally have a phone.
yeah,
Like you have the ability to sit and talk. It may not be the best quality. It might not be the best phone, but like you can literally sit here and share your story with people,
Yep.
and you can do that over and over, and nothing necessarily has to change about your life. Like, you don't have to like get a better camera or anything like that. It's like you can literally do
Yeah.
it right now. And so I don't know. I think that like if there is any itch of curiosity, just like anything else, I'm like, explore it. Like that's super cool.
Dude,
Like just explore it.
and you know what, man? That's what I want to do. I just again, for me, if I'm gonna do anything, it's gonna be authentic. Because man, I spent so much time. I've wasted so much time trying to make everyone happy or trying to be someone I'm not
Mm-hmm.
for somebody else's benefit. Or I'm not gonna. I made a decision that I'm not going to waste any more time uh, with that. I'm not gonna waste any more time trying to be someone I'm not. And I meant what I said. Like if the way I look or the way I dress, like I really don't give a fuck. Like I don't. I really just want to look in the mirror and be happy with what I see. And I made that a mission because again, it's a there's you could lie to yourself probably better than you could lie to anybody. And I spent a lot of time lying to myself throughout the years. And the moment when I knew that things needed to change was when I was looking in the mirror, and for the first time I was being honest, I was like, I don't like what I see. Like I don't like the way your eyes look, dude. I don't like the way you're living life right now. I don't like it. And that's a scary thing to take ownership when you can't blame anyone else, when you peel everything away and you're left with only yourself. No matter how good you look or what tattoos you have, you are left with you and you have to face that person. And I didn't want to wake up anymore thinking to myself, man, I hate the person in the mirror. So how am I going to make that change? I have to just make myself happy. I have to be, and that doesn't mean be like a selfish fuck and just do whatever you want. What it means is like you gotta take the steps to actually live for you and not just, oh, well, people want me to fucking do this, or people want me to dress like that, or people want me to say this or say that, or no, dude, I'm gonna be myself, and whoever likes that shit, I'm inviting you to come on the fucking ride with me. And if you don't like that shit, dude, like that's also cool. Like there's a million other dudes that you could follow, and there's a million other people that you could talk to. So I'm just not gonna waste any more time trying to be somebody else's idea of who I should be. I'm just not. So I'm at that. I'm
Hell
at
yeah.
that place now. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I love it. Well, dude, thank you again for just taking the time. Thank you. I mean, it's only been 2 days since we bumped into each other. Feels like way more than 2 days. Um, yeah. But I'm really excited to have like just captured your story and then got to know you a little bit more. And hopefully other people will see this interview and like see the previous interview, and we'll all just keep trekking on, just making cool stuff. So yeah,
Man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you and what you do, regardless of the fact that you interviewed me. I'm grateful to you. What you're doing is fucking sick. You're an awesome fucking dude. I really fuck with you. I mean that shit. Like, you're not a liar. I know that you mean what you're saying, and I think that's really fucking cool. It's hard to put yourself out there. Some people aren't like me. Some people have like social anxiety. Luckily, I don't have that, but some people got like social anxiety, and it's fucking scary to talk to people. You're like putting it out there, man. You're sharing people's stories. So I'm grateful to you. I support what you're doing, man, and I look forward to working with you in the future, dog.
thanks, dude. Definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm sure we will see each other again. And yeah, just keep at things. Thank you again. Go follow Christian. Go keep up with my stuff. Give to Write Love in Our Arms. Be kind to each other. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Do it 100%. And smash the like button,
Yeah,
pound
smash the
subscribe,
like,
leave a
subscribe.
comment
Yeah.
below, turn on notifications, smash that like button. No, I'm joking. But appreciate you guys, dog. I'll see you next time, buddy.
Amazing talking to you soon.